GM, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Monday, the 18th of November. Let's get straight into the charts. And as you can see, Bitcoin, we've got consolidating pretty much flat on today. We had a fairly lackluster weekend of sideways price action. And we said that we were expecting a bit of a slowdown after this Tom DeMark daily 9 sequential candle printed. So that is what we are seeing. We're seeing some sideways price action. And I personally still think there is a good chance of us attempting to take out these all-time highs and pushing a little bit higher. If we just go down to the 4-hour chart here, what you can see is that we seem to be forming a pattern here of higher lows on price. So something like this. And we can kind of say this is looking like a bit of an ascending triangle here, which is a bullish chart pattern. So of course, price keeps on getting up to a similar high. However, it keeps on making then higher lows. So what this tells us is that bulls are stepping in. Bulls are prepared to pay a premium stepping into the market here. And this is obviously something that is bullish for price. We can, of course, draw the top of this to show something like that. So really, whilst price is calling up in this range, I wouldn't expect too much to happen. Of course, we could come down here and take these lows out. I would expect in this case, in this scenario, Bitcoin potentially would come down back to 85. However, we have moving averages starting to now move up to support price, which is what we spoke about, is that this period of consolidation is going to allow for those moving averages to start to catch up with price and start to come in and provide some support. So obviously, we've spoken about that. We also spoke last week about the moon phases as well. So we were saying usually when we see these new moons, these darker moons on the chart, that tends to result in a move down or sideways in price action. And these white moons or the full moons tend to result in some upside price movement. And obviously we printed one of these full moons, and this I think could lead to at some point a further push higher in price. And again, this is not something I'm saying go and sort of bet your house on. It's just purely an observation from what we've seen over the whole extent of this year, really. And don't ask me to explain why. It's just what it is. It's just the correlation. It's just a pattern. And obviously, we are looking to put the odds in our favor when it comes to trading. And if we're seeing patterns or things that are working that we can use to base some of our decisions off, then that is absolutely what we're going to do. So if we just now go on to take these off, if we just go back onto the weekly chart, obviously, if Bitcoin can push higher, then we're targeting around this 102 level that we said was our Fibonacci retracement level from our prior cycle. So our bull market high to bear market low, and that's coming in at around about 102,000. So I still think this is my short to medium term target for Bitcoin, and I still think we got a good chance of getting up to 100,000 potentially as soon as this week, potentially by the end of November. If not, I would have thought we could get there definitely by the end of this year. And certainly the other thing we had mentioned was that we are on a Tom DeMark weekly 9 here. So that's not to say that we just start to pull back and roll over from here. Of course, we might do. But what can often happen on these Tom DeMark 9s is that we actually see some extension on the 9 candle, and price then pushes on higher. And then it looks to consolidate on the back of that. And potentially what I'm thinking is that we could see some extension into the final week of November, then potentially a couple of weeks of consolidation, and then maybe Bitcoin tries for a further push in sort of mid to late December time. So yes, that is the update for Bitcoin. Moving on to Ethereum, and Ethereum we said is obviously still lagging. So bit of a negative candle last week. It was not able to sustain prices up above sort of 3,200, 3,300. So again, if Bitcoin pulls back, then there is potential that Ethereum does also pull back. And I think it could go as low as this 2,800 just to back test this support resistance level that we'd drawn in. But I'm really thinking at some point Ethereum will start to outperform and it will play catch up. And I would be expecting Ethereum probably by the end of this year to come up and challenge this trend line here. I think this one is probably less relevant. It's not as significant as it's obviously over a short period of time, but this sort of longer trend line we've got here, which has obviously been in place from the high of the last bull market to obviously the high of this cycle so far. I think that's a really important trend line to get above, a break above here, and I think we could quickly run to new all-time highs on Ethereum. And I expect this move may well happen over the next couple of months, probably December, maybe January time. If we've got Bitcoin getting up to 100,000, I do think that will really set on fire the rest of the market, and it's likely that Ethereum starts to make its way up to this level and potentially setting itself up to break this level early next year. Obviously, we did talk about Ethereum tends to be stronger in Q1, whereas Bitcoin is stronger in Q4. And of course, this means there is a bit of a delay to Ethereum sort of performing off the back of Bitcoin. Bitcoin usually likes to move first and Ethereum second. And then we also want to look at Solana as well, because Solana has had a really nice push up to around the 240 level. And as you can see here, we are coming into some resistance. We've got this 1.618 from our prior swing high to swing low. We're also on a Tom DeMark weekly 9 sell. So a little bit of caution is advised here on Ethereum. I would expect there'd be a little bit of profit taken at this level, but on Solana, a little bit of profit taken on this level. But I do really think that Solana is the performer this cycle. It has made that breakthrough into, for me, into the high conviction, most sort of high tier of crypto assets in terms of Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's right up there now. And I really do think that Solana will push on a lot higher from these prices, but potentially, as with Bitcoin, coming into an area where there could be a bit of consolidation. And if we just look at the daily, we had this consolidation, we had this push up, and now potentially we consolidate a bit. Of course, if Bitcoin runs up to 100,000, I would think Solana can push through this level and potentially that takes Solana up to challenge its all-time highs, which I do think will be probably the more significant area of resistance to get above. Obviously, a lot of people will be just wanting to probably take some profits around all-time highs, expecting that to be an area of resistance. So we'll also take a look at Pepe. Like I say, we want to be covering the meme coins on this stream, and Pepe is a pretty good gauge of that. So obviously Pepe, massive run up last week, painting a little bit of a wick here, and Pepe now just starting to consolidate. So I'm just trying to see whether we can get any more levels on Pepe here. And as we can see, we can actually use our Fibonacci retracement and see we did come up and tag the 1.618 on Pepe. So that is why we are looking at the 1.618 as resistance. As we've said, we've got that on Bitcoin at 102,000. We've just hit obviously a lower time frame, a smaller level on Solana. But obviously when Solana does break out to all-time highs, we'll be able to put on a similar retracement for the entirety of the prior bull market high to bear market low to give us that level. And obviously this is a important reaction level. Why? Because look, these assets are at all-time highs and we don't have prior levels of support and resistance. Price has never traded here before. So really, you're limited as to the number of tools and the number of measures that you can try to use to actually put price levels on the chart. And the Fibonacci retracement, when we kind of are able to get these extension levels, this is when they really are at their best. And in my opinion, they have a lot of value. So that is why we're looking at them. So yeah, I would think Pepe does consolidate and pull back. It might come down and retest its previous all-time highs. It might just move sideways from here and have another push. And then obviously, once Pepe gets through this 1.618, then we'll be looking at this 2.618 up here. So yeah, Pepe looking strong too. We just have a quick look at traditional markets as well. We can see the DXY closing last week fairly strong. We are coming into this area of resistance here. So we've drawn on this 107 area as some resistance. So I would expect the dollar to probably start to find some resistance at these levels. On its Tom DeMark weekly, it's actually going to be printing a 9 very, very soon next week. So a week behind Bitcoin and crypto. So does Bitcoin and crypto pull back a little bit earlier and consolidate? And then do we see the dollar then start to turn around and Bitcoin and crypto get its next leg up? That is something that is possible. And we're also at a daily Tom DeMark 9 as well. So, potentially the dollar could see a little bit of weakness before then, allowing cryptos to kind of take another leg up, and then we might see obviously cryptos pull back, dollar push into its weekly Tom DeMark 9, and then we actually might be at a point where the dollar could actually put in a local high, and that would obviously allow for cryptos to rally into the end of the year. I think that's all pretty plausible if you ask me. Looking at the stock markets, S&P pulling back. So obviously we've come back down and we're starting to retest previous resistance, hopefully now as new support, especially if you're bullish on crypto, then you want to see the stock market remain strong. So let's see where we go from here. It looks like this market's just starting to cool off a bit. But yeah, I would be surprised if stocks don't pick up a bid fairly soon. I would have thought into the end of the year. Often we get a bit of a Santa rally, and it tends to be a decent sort of month in terms of sort of November, December for stocks. So let's see how the stock market plays out. NASDAQ doing the same thing, starting to dip, but no real concerns here. NASDAQ can, like I say, come as low as probably this sort of 20. Just below 20,100 here into this sort of broken line and still remain fairly healthy for me. So yeah, we are literally just back testing broken resistance as support now. So yeah, I think this is a dip in the stock market. It's probably good to buy, and I think it will get bought and it will get bid up. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see new all-time highs for the stock markets by the end of the year. Obviously, we can also see we've got a weekly Tom DeMark 9 sell on the NASDAQ. I don't think we don't have one on the S&P. So obviously this, again, Tom DeMark weekly 9, potentially a couple of weeks of consolidation and pullback here before another try higher. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching today's stream. Also, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. You'll find quite a lot of videos around meme coins, because I've been pretty open about the fact that I expect meme coins to outperform the rest of the altcoin sector during this bull market. This is what the data is showing us. This is not particularly what I like to make money from meme coins. If there was a sort of a more higher tech or more, sort of intelligent sounding part of the altcoin market that were proving itself to be worthy of putting more sort of capital into, I would certainly be investing in those areas. But numbers don't lie, and the meme coins are definitely where it's at this cycle in terms of gains and returns. And with retail coming in to the crypto cycle likely in their droves over the next few months, especially now Bitcoin is hanging out at new all-time highs, I would expect them to be primarily wanting to get into meme coins also. So I don't see that trend reversing at any time. So I've come out with lists of my high conviction meme coins. I've come out with lower market cap meme coins on Solana and also on the Ethereum chain. So please do check those out. I've also come out with a bunch of meme coins, which are fairly mid-cap ones that I do think are going to get top tier exchange listings soon. So there's loads of alpha out there if you are thinking about where do you want to place your money. And obviously, goes out saying informational purposes. So this is not investment advice. Just got to throw that in there. But of course, if that is something you're interested in, please go and check those videos out. I'll be coming out with lots more additional content over the next few days. Obviously, daily stream every morning, looking at the markets, taking a quick check on the majors and the market health, and giving my thoughts as where I think things are going to go for the next few days. So hopefully you've enjoyed that one. Smash a like if you have done, and have an amazing day to you wherever you are. And I will be back very soon again with more content. I will speak to you then.